This is an introduction to RAPTOR 4:1 epoxy primer. This primer can be used over properly prepared rusted surfaces, bare metal, aluminum, or galvanized panels. It can be used as a foundation for RAPTOR or any other compatible coating. This video will cover a typical restoration application over a variety of panels prior to the application of RAPTOR. RAPTOR primer exceeds a rigorous 2,000-hour salt spray test, which makes it the perfect choice where maximum corrosion resistance is necessary. RAPTOR primer can be top coated after a minimum dry time of 60 minutes and up to 7 days without requiring abrasion. Apply 1 to 2 coats of primer with a gravity-fed HVLP spray gun with a 1.4 to 1.8 nozzle setup. Depending on nozzle set and distance from the surface, mill build is generally about 2 to 2.5 mils per coat. At a shop temperature of 68 degrees, RAPTOR primer is dry to touch and can be handled in about 2 hours and sanded after 4 hours. Surface preparation depends on the substrate. In this restoration project, a nylon cut brush was used. These work great on rusted panels and truck beds. Clean surface contaminants with wax and grease remover, then follow these abrasive guidelines. In this fender example, a wire wheel was used to prep the panel. It was then blown off and re-cleaned with wax and grease remover to remove any additional contaminants. Prior to the application of RAPTOR primer or RAPTOR liner, UPOL highly recommends the use of personal protection equipment, including gloves and a respirator suitable for paint application. Standard application is 1 to 2 coats of RAPTOR primer, allowing 10 to 15 minute flash time between coats. If you plan on applying a polyester body filler over the top of RAPTOR primer, apply only 1 coat and allow it to dry for 8 hours prior to sanding and applying the filler. RAPTOR primer dries with a very smooth gray semi-gloss appearance. It's so smooth that it's hard to believe that it can be top coated up to 7 days without sanding. Once the trunk has been thoroughly sanded, cleaned, and primed, allow the RAPTOR primer to dry for a minimum of 60 minutes before applying RAPTOR liner or any other top coat. It's important to note that once it's mixed, RAPTOR primer has a usable pot life of 2 hours and should be used within that time period. Product that's been sitting around for longer than 2 hours should be discarded. Even though it stays liquid much longer, it's no longer usable. Now that all surfaces are primed and have been allowed to dry for at least 60 minutes, we are ready to apply RAPTOR liner or any other compatible top coat. Mix RAPTOR according to the directions in the technical data sheet and apply it with a sweeping motion. In this video, I'm using the UP4880 variable tip gun. This gun produces a variety of textures by opening or closing the brass tip and is much faster in application than the standard 0726 gun. In this restoration application, RAPTOR has performed equally well as a catalyzed undercoating, a sound dampener, and a chip guard. In closing, RAPTOR epoxy primer passes a 2,000-hour salt spray test, provides maximum corrosion protection, bonds to practically any substrate, and can be used wet on wet after 60 minutes, up to 7 days without sanding.